Today on Community Cooking, we have guest chef Randy Furman back in the kitchen with us cooking up a classic chicken piccata with garlic herb mashed potatoes and a grilled Caesar salad. We are cooking with some of the best chefs from right here in our own community. So grab a seat, get comfortable. We've got another awesome menu coming at you in under 30 minutes. This is your Community Cooking. Hello and welcome to Community Cooking. I am your host, Kirk Leins. In our kitchen today, we have friend and chef, Mr. Randy Furman. Randy, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and I say meet because, you know, to be honest with you, I feel like we are friends already. I've watched you cook with Maria probably no less than like 5 or 6 times. So it's like,
True.
It's nice. Now it's Guy's Day in the kitchen, right?
It's Guy's Day, except I didn't get to watch you do anything.
Well, you know,
I guess I'm going to see you do that today.
Yeah. I mean, this is like, you know, I mean, there's a first for everything, but
Absolutely.
yeah, we'll get right on TV. Right on TV.
Perfect.
All right. So you have an awesome menu today, and I really am looking forward to making and eating all of this. We've got this chicken piccata, which you can't get any more classic than that. Garlic mash, once again, pretty classic, pretty homey, pretty awesome.
It is.
Right? And then throw a little twist into it. Making us a Caesar salad, but you're doing something a little different.
I'm going to grill it.
You're going to grill it.
I'm going to grill it and show you how easy it is.
Awesome. Great. Well, we're getting started with the chicken piccata. And why don't you take us through the ingredients
All right.
real quick?
So we have flat leaf Italian parsley, which we're going to use for the end to kind of garnish a little bit. I'm going to have you chop that up.
Okay.
The shallots, I'm going to have you chop fine. And the garlic, I'm going to have you chop fine.
Okay.
But when we have chicken stock, white wine, lemon juice, salt, pepper, butter, olive oil, and my secret is paprika, so it doesn't look so anemic. I use a little paprika to give it a little bit of color, not a lot.
It's a pretty blonde dish.
Yeah, it is.
That's nice. I can't wait to see what that looks like.
So I'm going to put the olive oil in first so I can see how hot the pan is.
All right, I'll get started on these shallots
That's
for you.
perfect.
So this is your personal recipe that you use in your catering and your personal
Right.
chef work, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, I got to tell you, chicken piccata, it's classic. You see it on a lot of menus, but personally, I can't get enough of it. I think it's awesome.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the spices to the flour. So I'm going to take the paprika. I'm going to add a little bit to begin with to see what it looks like. I'm going to add my salt
Okay.
and my pepper. Then I'm going to mix this up really well so that it's all blended in.
Nice.
You use a fork or whatever so it blends in.
Really gets in with the chicken.
Right.
And probably doesn't burn as easy if you're just
Right.
putting it into fat.
Right.
Okay.
So then what you want to do is you want to drench your chicken, which I pounded out, and you can see a lot of people do larger ones. I get really thick chicken breast and slice it, and then I pound it either with like a cast iron pan.
That's how it's got to be.
But then, as you can see, there's no white or anything. You take all the rib
Yeah,
out,
those
everything.
are beautiful. You
Yeah.
clean that up.
Then what you do is you'll drench this like that. You don't need
It's
to.
nice because it cooks so quickly. You never overcook the chicken, right? When
Right.
chicken stays in the pan when it's this thick, by the time it's cooked through,
It doesn't have the same flavor. This is so amazing. I love the flavor of this.
a lot easier. It lightens up the dish too, if you will.
Totally. So what we do is we drench this, and you can lay it flat on a cookie sheet. So you can. What you want to do is do everything one at a time. I call the other way. Some people will drench one and then go ahead. And I say that's kind of the housewife way.
Right.
You know, so you kind of want to do this where you're drenching everything.
You know, that's actually a really good point. That's like that with anything, even when you're prepping vegetables.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're going to if you need to seed and chop tomatoes, you know, cut them in half and seed all of them, then chop all of them. Don't seed it, chop, seed it, chop. It's
Absolutely,
faster.
it goes a lot faster.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is, it's really great is like, see how we have all the ingredients? To get all your ingredients out before you start cooking, so you actually know you have everything, because there's nothing worse than all of a sudden you start, and then all of a sudden it's not there, and you have to.
If we were in France, they would call that mise en place.
Okay, well, that's foreign to me.
Yeah.
So, all right, I think we need to get a little bit more heat. All right, then we'll get this. It needs to be a little hotter.
Okay.
We'll go.
Yeah, you want to get a little bit of color on that chicken, don't you?
You don't want it to be too blonde. And then what we'll do is we're going to put it in a cookie sheet and keep it warm in the oven until we're ready, because we're going to do the sauce a little bit. So.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
Let's try one. It's not hot enough.
Not
so
hot.
let's
And you knew that because it just didn't start bubbling.
It didn't start sizzling.
It's all right.
So.
We got time.
So we're good.
Just cooking.
So it should be getting going. All right. Yeah, you want to make sure I use unsalted butter so there's no sediment. So it's a little bit better. And you can always, like we have salt in the actual flour so you don't have to go so crazy.
You can control your salt.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Let's try this now.
Do your clients request this dish a lot?
It's a great dish. I do it, a lot of people like it with pasta. I love it with the mashed potatoes because it's easier because then the pasta doesn't get sticky, especially if it's an hour and a half buffet. You have to look at this.
I think I'd agree with you on that. I'd rather have it with a nice mashed potato as well.
Well, I'm a potato person. I'm not a real big pasta or rice person. I really like that better. The other thing is we can talk about is that you can actually, if you want to, you can slice the lemon really, really thin when we finish the sauce, and you can use that also for a garnish. Some people like that, some people don't, because it has a little bit of a bitter taste, which is nice. Some people like that type of feeling.
Because you're getting both the rind and the pith in there. Okay.
There we go.
So nice. There it is.
There we
That's
go.
when it's bubbling away.
Yeah. And again, you don't want to brown this too much because you're going to stick it in the oven to still finish off.
Right.
Again, the paprika. And this is organic butter, and the organic butter actually is for some reason, is more yellow. So as you can see, almost looks like human.
Huh.
So.
Right. Yeah, and you know what? You can tell. Yeah, you're right. It does add a little bit of color to it, but yet you would never say, "Oh, he put paprika in there."
No, you can't really tell.
Right. Yeah,
but it's not as anemic as as it would have been with none.
Right.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to deglaze this pan and cook it down, and this becomes a sauce. And what you want to do is save a little of the flour just in case for some reason it cooks down. There wasn't enough sediment, enough flour droppings from that to thicken it up. You're going to want to do that. So
you can always thicken it with the dredge that's left over.
Right.
Okay. Good idea.
There we go. We're cooking now.
Yeah, we are.
Just in case we need to do that. Okay. All right.
How long have you been catering for, Randy?
Probably longer than you've been alive. I've been doing this 46 years.
What? The answer to that is no. I've been alive longer.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that.
I just look very good for my age.
Yeah, well,
how about that?
So do I.
Yeah, touche.
So, yeah. So now we're going to do this again. So we'll just keep on getting these done. Which should only take about a couple minutes. Let's get this turned up a little bit more. There we go.
Yeah, the other thing about this dish, it's my kids love it.
Yeah.
It's a friendly dish. You don't find too many people that go piccata. No.
Right. It's just pending, like we were talking about earlier, that when people do it as a whole breast, it really doesn't. This has such a great flavor because it's thin.
Right.
You can cut it with a fork because it's so tender.
Right.
I mean, you don't need a knife because I can actually use this. What's nice about this, I can do these in half for a buffet. If you were having a lot of guests, you would even do the medallion smaller, so that people could fit it on their plate. Because if you're going to do a couple different choices,
sure, you could even
yeah.
Right?
So there we go. Now we're getting that little bit of brownness I want. There we go. And we're getting.
It's like a pancake. The first couple
right.
always not
right.
quite
It's
as
always. It was the same thing when I did the bananas. It was like in a different show. It was like the bananas like blew up because it was too hot, and this one wasn't hot enough to begin with. There we go.
Well, but that's what makes cooking fun, And I mean, how many times did we see that like on the old Julia Child shows?
When she dropped the turkey?
When she did all sorts of things, and at the end of the day, she'd be like, you know what? It's just
you're
cooking.
By yourself,
and no one's ever gonna know, right? Just don't freak out. It's cooking.
Right.
Fix it.
So there we go. So we're almost there. All right. We have one more, and then we're good to go.
That looks really pretty perfect, Randy.
Thank you.
The color on that is really nice.
Okay. All right. And then from here we're gonna finish the sauce off, and then we'll go to the mashed potatoes, which will be great. We're almost there. Let's throw the last piece in.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Now what I'm gonna do is, while we're cooking the last piece, I'm gonna throw in the shallots and the garlic.
Okay. So you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move these over here, and I'm gonna give you a little ramekin here.
Okay, great.
So that you can just transport it.
I want to put the garlic in first, then I'll put the
Ah.
Oh, well, that's okay. You know what? Doesn't matter.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry about it. So we'll be fine. There we go. Get that in. I'll leave this on this side.
And I'll put some garlic in that for you now.
Yeah, thank you. Here.
The Picasso of piccata.
All right, let's get this. All right.
There There's your garlic, sir.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to move this off. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to add the wine. You want to add your wine first so it cooks down and it gets the alcohol content out. And it'll also deglaze. And you want this to cook down at least half because you want the alcohol content. You can smell it. It's going to cook out.
Yeah, I mean, for several reasons. Anyone who has an aversion,
right?
You want it out for them, and then also too, it's too much of a winey quality if you don't let it cook out properly.
I agree, because I actually don't drink, but I use a lot of alcohol in my cooking,
Sure.
but I cook it out.
Right.
You know, and you want this to cook down a little bit.
That's a beautiful color as well. That's going to make a really nice sauce. I can see it coming.
Use a really good hearty chicken stock or chicken broth if you don't make your own.
Okay.
And now what we're going to do is we can let this simmer down while we're doing. If we want to, we can bring. We can put this in the oven to keep it warm.
Okay, I will do that for you.
Get rid of this. Get rid of that. If you want to, we can pull.
You want to pull the potatoes out?
Yeah, let's pull the potatoes out.
All right. Let's start cleaning up here a little bit. Wait, see, these are potatoes that you cooked in the microwave, but we've just kept warm in basically a 250-degree oven.
Right.
And that's actually, you might not want to touch that.
Yeah.
Let me put that down. I'm going to cross over here.
All right, so we're going to leave these right here to finish the sauce. Here's the lemon juice.
Look at that.
Okay, so this is simmering. We're just going to let it simmer till it gets down to about half.
Right, so we got a little time on that.
Yeah. All right, so what we can do is, we don't need this. There you go.
All right.
Okay, so why don't we grab the, let's grab these.
Oh, here, let me get that for you.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Go
so we have half and half, cream cheese, butter. I have my garlic. I have my thin herbs. I have some pepper here, but I'm also going to put some fresh chives in, salt, and pepper.
And for people who not, thin herbs is just a combination of several dried herbs that you can pretty much find at any market.
Right, or you can do fresh. You can do flat parsley, chives, chervil, and I think it's thyme, I think it is.
Okay.
I'm not positive. Now, I always put the butter in first because I want the butter to melt with the heat of the potatoes. So I turn it on.
Skins on, just put them right in.
Skins on.
And, you know, and truth be told, probably any herb for the most part that you put in there.
Totally.
I mean, it's gonna be good, right? Herbs and potatoes and butter and cream cheese.
Let's turn this up. Get that going. All right, I'm going to add my garlic and my pepper and my herbs.
It already smells good with just the potato and the herbs starting to warm up.
I'm going to add.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to add my half a cup of cream cheese.
Okay. It's just going to make it creamy and unctuous and good.
Then we're going to do the salt.
Are you using
and you can taste it.
Like a Himalayan salt?
I use a Himalayan salt, yeah.
Okay.
Then a white pepper. All right, now the difference is putting as much half and half in is how you like your potatoes. I like mine a little bit more stiff.
Okay.
I don't like them really too creamy.
Yeah, when they're creamy, then it becomes more of like a potato puree, as opposed to a mashed potato.
All right, and then the last thing you'll put in is the chives, because you don't want them to get totally destroyed.
Right.
Just like that. All right, and we're done with this.
Right. Because you don't want to overbeat the potatoes either.
No, you don't.
Like if you let that go long enough, that
Right.
can get, it starts to work those starches in there, and it can get a little on the gluey side.
And you can see the sauce is still going.
Okay.
All right, so this plate is still hot. So I'm going to hand this to you.
Yeah, here, you know what, look at that.
Okay.
Great.
So now what we can do is do we want to?
Well, those potatoes are pretty much done, correct?
They're pretty much done. So we can see what they look like.
We're sort of waiting on the sauce. I mean, are we?
Yeah, we're kind of waiting on the sauce because I want it to go down a little bit because we still have to add the lemon juice, which I think I'm going to do now.
Okay.
So that it also cooks down a little bit. So it's a couple tablespoons of lemon juice.
Well, while that's cooking down, this might be a really good spot to take a break.
Great.
And when we come back, we can make our salad. We can put this all together.
Perfect.
All right. So then we got some work to do, I guess. All right. So stick around. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
I see my friends out there getting waves and talking about them, and I know exactly what they're doing and what they're feeling and everything. It's like, it's hard. I was diagnosed when I was 57. It was a surprise to me when they told me I had MS. It's like, you sure?
Well, the idea is this is a 360-degree virtual reality camera rig. Steve hasn't been able to ride a wave in way too many years, so now I'm going to ride a wave and we get to share it with him. Well, we're going to do something.
Just put that on your head. Whoa. Oh, this is unreal. Coming up, coming up, coming up. Boom. Nice. Nice. This is fantastic.
Yeah, let me set it up and you get into the
Set it up.
ride.
Let's do that again.
Welcome back. In our kitchen today is Randy Furman. And Randy, you're cooking up. I mean, what this smells like here is just divine. I mean, we've got a chicken piccata. We've got the garlic mash. I smell that all at the same time. And now you're going to show us how to make this grilled Caesar salad.
Well, I'm using baby gem instead of romaine, and this is actually what it looks like. Why don't you give a cut in half, and you can so they can see. And then I wash it when it's cut in half, and then I dry it. What I do is I take paper towels and put it in a plastic bag, and I put these in a plastic bag face down and let them dry. So it's really simple. That's why I use a little dish like this.
This is a perfect thing to find at the Torrance Farmers Market, correct? Totally. And for those unfamiliar, it's sort of like a cross between butter lettuce and
a romaine.
Kinda, right? Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to dip it in the Caesar. Now you can make your own Caesar, or there's so many good ones out there. So you dip it in the Caesar, you throw it on the grill.
All right. Now that is something I have not seen. I have to tell you, I love grilling lettuce, and I know it seems counterintuitive to the lettuce eating process, but it's actually quite delicious.
It's
but
amazing.
I've never dipped it in the dressing and then grilled it.
Yeah, because you want it to get in there, because you're going to lose a lot of the dressing as it's grilling.
Okay.
And then what I do is I will turn this also. So now what I'll do is I'll take the rest of the dressing and brush this, because I want to turn around and get a little bit of grill marks on there.
All right. And what's great about it is you get that nice char taste on the outside of it, but the inside's still nice and crispy and cool and crunchy, just how you want.
You hope.
Well, don't leave it on too long, right?
Right.
You are the master of your own domain there.
Yes.
Okay.
So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to blister tomatoes. So I'm going to take olive oil, put in here.
And these are beautiful. I love the fact that we can get heirloom baby tomatoes now, right?
All right, so let's look at this and see a little bit more. Yeah. Go just a little bit longer, because you want to make sure you get really good grill marks.
Okay.
All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to pick out, because I normally like to use like 3 different tomatoes per salad. So you just put them in. They'll start to blister. I'll put a few in so we can just so you can see.
What the heck? I mean.
Yeah. And then if you want, you can add a little bit of salt or garlic if you want to, but you roll them around so they get covered with the olive oil, and then you bring up the heat. So they'll start popping, and you want them to start getting a little charged, so they look really, really nice.
And you know, the other good thing with this technique that you're showing right here, what I like is, let's say you have some cherry tomatoes sitting around that have maybe gotten just a touch long in the tooth.
Yeah.
And you really sort of hesitant to cut them up and use them fresh in a salad.
Right.
Boom, right?
Right.
It's
great.
No one's gonna know. Actually, it might even be better because those juicy, sweet.
Right. So you see, these turned out nice, and then when we plate it, you'll see how beautiful it is.
That's awesome.
And then the other thing is, I do hand-torn croutons, which you just take a piece. You can use older bread. Just take it and you tear small pieces apart.
I like that.
And you take equal amounts of olive oil and butter. And I use a granulated garlic. I don't use a powdered garlic. I like granulated better.
Okay.
Then what you do is you toss these in a bowl. You put them in a saucepan and let it
do its thing?
Do its thing a little bit, and then you transfer it to a cookie sheet, about 350 for about 20 to 30 minutes. Now you can hear the tomatoes starting to pop.
Yep. And you know, I gotta say, I really do like the hand-torn. First of all, they're delicious. Really good.
I want to get a little bit more.
Seasoned perfectly. But the other thing is, appearance-wise, sometimes when you've cut your bread into cubes, it just has that weird uniform look, right?
Yeah, but this makes it feel like you've put some love into it because you've touched it.
Right. Rustic for all the right reasons.
Right.
Right.
All right, so we're getting there. The sauce is still staying warm. The other thing, you know, you did a great job.
Thank
so when
you,
you
sir.
see this, The lemon is very, very thin because, as you see, I put it in there. We'll garnish the piccata when we get ready.
Right.
And we're ready to go. So now I'm going to take this and show you how I plate. I want this one to get a little bit more. This one seems to be taking a while to cook.
Okay.
But you
So
we're
going to put it all on the plate at once.
Yeah, we're going to do this right now so you can
Family
see.
style. Nice.
This is
awesome. I love the fact that you put the dressing on that.
Then you go like this. Then the tomatoes, as soon as they get done. Then what I do is I warm the croutons.
Okay.
I put a few croutons on the side. I take the shaved Parmesan, put that
Beautiful,
there.
Man.
And
Beautiful.
then the tomatoes, as soon as they get a little bit more blistered, I'll put 3 tomatoes on here too. So it's a really nice presentation, which we can.
You could do that. Could be dinner right there.
It could be. You could actually do a
Summertime.
grilled chicken with it. You
Yeah.
could do a grilled chicken breast, actually in the Caesar dressing.
Right.
You know.
All right,
so
tie it all
it's-
together.
Right. All right. So we'll turn this off now. All right. So we're good to go. So we'll do 1.
Awesome.
And and you get different colors and
Right.
shapes. So it's really, really great.
All right, well, what do you say we get cleaned up here a little bit and maybe plate our mashed potatoes and chicken?
Perfect.
Take a little break and come back and do some eating.
Great.
All right,
I look forward to it.
All right, we'll meet you back here in 60 seconds.
This is the city where danger lurks. Today, a new creature walks among us, terrorizing innocent citizens. They prowl the streets alone and in packs, causing mayhem, destruction, and carnage. Warning, until this threat can be contained, we must all be on the lookout for the dreaded digital deadwalkers. They're not looking out for you.
Dude! Engage!
A public service safety message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who want to keep everyone well connected
Sorry.
with strong, healthy bones.
Welcome back. I am here with Chef Randy Furman and a couple plates of food, which means only one thing.
You get to eat.
That's right. I get to eat, and
Manja.
I'm truly, truly excited. We're going to start here with your grilled Caesar salad.
Okay.
And I'm going to attempt to create like the perfect bite. So we're going to get some of the greenery.
I would actually go deeper.
Okay.
There
Go a
you
little
go.
bit more of the crunchies.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
So you really get the romance of it all.
Right. And we're going to get one of those nicely blistered tomatoes and a crouton.
I like your style.
All right, there we go. That was really good. That was really good.
And so simple.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't have to spend a lot of time making things difficult.
Not only does the char come through, but the nuance, it heightens the nuances of the dressing.
Well, because the Parmesan cheese and the dressing
And the
starts to
anchovy.
crisp.
It's good. Really, really good.
All
I
right,
like that.
so
New little trick I've learned.
There you go.
And on to the chicken piccata.
I can't wait.
I
It's
know,
one of
me
my
too.
favorites.
Me too.
It's like butter. I could already tell.
The chicken is cooked perfectly. I know that by
Yeah,
just the
absolutely.
knife feel. That, my friend, is really good piccata.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Perfect amount of lemony, really savory, but the brininess of the capers just makes it.
I love the capers.
Man, all right, I gotta get me some potatoes here before we get going. Let's see. Cream cheese and the herbs.
And you
Right?
can do this differently. You could add cheddar cheese. You could do jack cheese. You could do mozzarella if you want it really stringy. You could add gorgonzola. You know, you can make it your own signature. It's very
Great
simple.
idea. I mean, listen, it's like, I understand the components that you put together here, and I think if you stick to the basic game plan, you can switch up a few ingredients
Right.
here and there, you're going to come up with something great. But what I would not mess with is the piccata, because this is truly delicious.
Thank you. I appreciate
I'm
that.
taking another bite. Wow. Well, I would highly, highly recommend everybody make this. It's really a delicious menu. Thank you so much for coming, Randy. It's been
My
a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
On behalf of myself, the crew, Randy, Thank you for watching Community Cooking. And it just goes to show you the best cooks are some of the ones from right here in our own community. All right, well, we'll see you here next time on Community Cooking.
If you'd like a copy of the recipes seen on this show, send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to the Office of Cable and Community Relations. That's 3350 Civic Center Drive, Suite 200 in Torrance, California, 90503. Be sure to note the show number displayed on the screen. And don't forget, you can find all the fresh ingredients used on today's show at the Farmers Market. Visit the one here in Torrance at Wilson Park. That's located at 2200 Crenshaw Boulevard. They're open every Tuesday and Saturday from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., rain or shine. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, email us at communitycooking@torranceca.gov and check us out online at youtube.com/TorranceCitiCABLE and like us on Facebook at Community Cooking TV.